Hi, happy Monday. I hope you started the week strong and had a great day today. I was going to go live a little bit earlier from the nail salon, but it was actually really busy when I got in there. And the person that I want to talk to you about, hi Jenna, thanks for joining. The person I want to tell you guys about, I actually met in a car today, so I thought it would be appropriate to do the video from my car. Hey Erin, thanks for joining. Who else do we have? Hey Jessica. By the way, I just got my nails done at this place that I love in Fort Lauderdale, and they did like the dipping kind. Have any of you guys ever done that before? What's your experience with it if you have? I think it kind of looks a little thick. I don't know. I usually get gel. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys about somebody freaking awesome. It had an inspiring story. Hey Eric. So I want to tell you about a guy that I met today who is just really inspiring and incredible, and that was my Uber driver who picked me up from the cruise and brought me back to my apartment this morning. And so I get in the Uber where, I was talking to him, and I absolutely love like going in Ubers because it gives you an opportunity to meet this person and talk to someone new. I always ask how long they've been Ubering and kind of what their story and background is. Hey Beth Jerry. And so thanks for joining, guys. So, and if you guys have some good stories about Uber drivers you've met, go ahead and start writing them in the comments. I would love to hear. So he had pretty like broken English, but I thought it was actually really good. And he was like, I'm so sorry about my English. I'm still learning. And I was like, oh, like, how long have you been here? Like, how long have you been learning to speak English? And get this, he taught himself how to speak English 7 months ago through driving an Uber. He was like, I just have to know English because, all of my customers speak English. So, I like driving up in Fort Lauderdale better than I like driving in Miami. Hey, Grant, thanks for coming and joining the conversation. And so I was talking to him about his backstory, and so inspiring and incredible, and that's why I want to share more information with you guys about him today. And that is, so he came from Argentina, which is so funny because his like phrasing and words sound just like my friend Joel, who I really want to introduce to my new friend the Uber driver. His name is Armando, sorry. So my new friend Armando, really want to introduce him to Leanne and Joel because I think they'll get along since they had a lot of similarities being from the same country and everything. And so I asked him, not only how long had he been here, but why did he move? Why did he decide to move to the U.S.? And he said he had to come for political asylum. And he actually, so he grew up in Argentina. Seems like he had a pretty, tough childhood because at age 16, while in high school, he kind of started his own business selling what I understood is like maybe like a protein drink. He said it was like a lemonade, but a meal. So it was a little hard to translate that part. But he started working and selling products in high school, in like the younger years of high school when he was 16, to be able to support his mom. And at 16, he started paying the entire family's expenses, supporting his mom fully, and buying everything that they needed to so that she didn't have to work. And as he, grew up there, he only left Argentina 2 years ago because of the situation that's going on there. And what happened was he told me he actually, because of his political views and beliefs, ended up, somebody tried to murder him. And they had a gun and like hit him really hard in the head with it. Like, really sad. And some people threw up some sad faces. And he showed me some pictures of like his entire like face broken open. And he said he had to move to the U.S. to be able to be in a safe place. And he sends, money and food back for his mom. She doesn't want to leave because that's where she's been her whole life. And, it's just a little bit harder for her also to get a visa to come over here. And so he was telling me this story, and he is also telling me that his girlfriend is 6 months pregnant. They're going to have a daughter, and her name is going to be Emma. And what I was telling him was my mom wanted to name me Emma, but with the last name Grant, then my name would have been Emma Grant. And my mom was like, you'd get made fun of too much for sounding like immigrant or emigrant. And so anyway, I told him that my mom loved the name Emma and wished she could have named me Emma. And so he's just working so hard. And I asked him, you know, because I think he said he was 26. So he came over here when he was 24, and I asked him, what did you do in Argentina? And he was an architect. He went to 6 years of architecture school, was doing really well in design and very accomplished. He said he's built several buildings over in Argentina. But here, none of that applies. So he has to go completely back to school. Hey, Lauren Bateman. I still have to go back and watch your video from yesterday. I'm really excited to see you singing Sia. So just such an inspiring story. And I wanted to share it with you because, you know, listening to him and all the obstacles and challenges that he had to overcome just is a great reminder of how blessed, you know, we all are, and how many things that we take for granted, like being able to have a political belief and not, you know, being murdered or attempted murdered for it. And, you know, just seeing someone also, you know, leave their profession knowing that they won't be able to in the country that they move in. And that happens a ton. There's so many stories, especially here in South Florida, of people who are doctors or architects or other things that need specific degrees. And when they come to the U.S., that no longer applies. But, you know, in order to better their life, they take that chance. And he fully wants to be an architect again. So just super inspiring, teaching himself English. Like I told him, I was like, I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and I can't barely speak like half as well as you're speaking English right now. And he was like, it's all about immersing yourself and, you know, not giving yourself a choice. And, you know, he was basically saying like, I have to because my customers speak English. So just really, really awesome guy. And it was funny, he contacted me because he thought that I left my glasses there in the Uber. And I guess Uber like sends you an email and says like, hey, here's the person's phone number. They want you to have their phone number because you left something in their car. And so I called him and he sent me a picture. It wasn't my glasses. I had everything, but he was like, oh, that sucks. I kind of hoped they were yours so we could see each other again. And so I was like, forget the glasses, let's be friends. So now I'm probably going to hang out, go to coffee or something. I'm really excited to meet his girlfriend and eventually Emma in a couple months when he has a baby. He was so sweet too, talking about the baby. He was like, I go home and I open the door and I say, baby, daddy's home. And I talk to the baby and it knows when I'm there. And like, it was so touching and sweet. And he's just such an incredible, positive, uplifting guy, having gone through so much and having such a, you know, challenging last few years of his life. Just so inspiring. So the other thing I wanted to kind of take away from that for you guys, or share with you guys, is get to know people. You know, get to know someone's story. Ask them how they got to where they were, what their background is, and you'd be so, you know, I have been so incredibly inspired and impressed with the people that I meet and how much they do, you know, want to tell you their story. And, you know, if you just ask a couple deeper questions to someone, you'll be surprised what they'd be willing to tell you the first, you know, time that you meet them. And you might end up making a new friend that you keep for a long time. Like hopefully me and Armando will be friends now. So I encourage you guys to make a new friend tomorrow, meet someone, get to know their story, ask them about, you know, how they got to where they were, and see how it can impact your day. So I hope you guys all have an awesome night. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, speaking of great stories and getting to know people's background, tomorrow, some of you guys know my friend Kenny, who's homeless. We're going to be going to Art Serve. So tomorrow is the last Tuesday of the month, and that's always when Art Serve is. If you guys live in South Florida, I highly encourage you to come. You can Google it, or you can look up Google Art Serve Broward. And then, oh, hey, ETE. Hey, Jad. Hey, Michael. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Oh, Jess is there too. Hey, Jess. And so, if you guys are in South Florida, I would love for you to come and see Kenny. He's going to do another one of his poems. If you're not in South Florida, I'm going to put up a live video on Facebook tomorrow night. We get there at like 7. And then depending on what like sign in we have, like sign in on the list, depends on when he goes. So I'll be going live tomorrow night sometime in the 8 o'clock hour, maybe 9 o'clock hour. It just kind of depends on how many people show up at Art Serve. So maybe I'll do some little, hey Shane, thanks for coming. What up? And so I was just talking about getting to know strangers, Shane. Go back and watch the rest if you have a chance. So get to know someone new. Tune in tomorrow to see Kenny's poem. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night.